The views expressed in this podcast, Champ and Tramp, belong to the host and guest, not the Champ and Tramp podcast itself. It's intended for entertainment information, so please use discretion. We're not responsible for any outcomes resulting from the content discussed.
Guys, Carnivor is now available on TikTok Shop.
That's right. Get my favorite products now on the TikTok Shop and take advantage of the lactose and dairy-free protein selection Carnivor has to offer.
So many great products to choose from, like Carnivor, the world's #1 beef protein, Carnivor Shred, the fat-burning protein, Carnivor Lean Meal, the natural whole food meal replacement, and more.
Carnivor is #1 for a reason, delivering all the benefits of beef in a delicious shake that's sugar-free, fat-free, gluten-free, and lactose-free, making it the perfect choice for athletes and fitness enthusiasts around the world.
Click the TikTok Shop button and beef up with Carnivor.
Milk is for babies. Beef builds muscle.
Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, FE. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. We're never tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the Champ and the Tramp, let the bomb blast.
All right, we have a special one today. A blast from the past. I believe, what year is it? It's 25, so about 15 years ago, I might have been in your studio.
Yeah.
For Fox Fight Game.
That's right.
I think that's... Okay, so we got Mike Straka, a longtime friend of mine, one of the pioneers in the whole MMA journalism scene, right, I would say?
Yeah, I mean, as far as mainstream journalism goes,
Yeah. I
sure.
mean, well, Fox Fight Game, that was before MMA Live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that might have been one of the first of its kind, which is kind of like just... What would you call it? An MMA variety show where we kind of review the fights, and you reviewed not only UFC but other organizations too.
Yeah, I mean we covered breaking news too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately there's some deaths. We covered that stuff. Evan Tanner and obviously Mask, and then there was a guy named Sammy Vasquez who died in HDNet fights back in the day. Remember Mark Cuban started HDNet fights with Guy Metzger, and then we did a lot of cool stuff. The funny thing, Fox News Channel that's where I worked. Obviously, you were there. Mm-hmm. And we were not really known for our sports coverage or even our entertainment. I was the entertainment sports guy. So when the boss found out I was doing this cage fighting, don't forget, John McCain was against the UFC.
It was in New York, too. It was illegal at the time.
Right. So my first MMA guest was Randy Couture.
Get out of here. Wow.
And
big first guest.
It was perfect because Randy's so soft-spoken and he's so smart and he's eloquent, and when the boss Roger Ailes saw it, he was like, are all these guys like that? I go, yeah. He's like, oh, you can cover it then, because he was on the fence.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when Chuck Liddell fell asleep during his interview? Could you imagine if that happened with me? I would.
He fell asleep. No, he was like,
there would be no Fox Fight Game.
Yeah.
And I put that in my Fighting Words book. I always tell Randy, without Randy Couture's interview, there wouldn't have been a Fox Fight Game because they were hell bent against it. Like, we're not going to do just cage fight. And then a couple years later, Fox signs a big deal when UFC left Spike. Fox Sports.
Right.
Next thing you know, it was $1 billion. And then I looked like I was prescient. Like, this guy was way ahead of the curve. Right. So, but it's funny. It was an uphill battle getting MMA on Fox. It was a really uphill battle. And then I had the tap out guys on Fox and Friends.
Yeah.
And they I'm here. I have punk ass and Scrape and Mask on Fox and Friends. It was.
Yeah, they look like the LMAFO guys.
They really did. Yeah, they really did. And it's funny because Scrape always says that they copied him because he was wearing that wig before LMFAO.
Sure. Absolutely. But I'll tell you what, we were literally on the set of Fox News.
Yeah,
that's what we were shooting our Fox Fight Game on a real set with a real crew,
and everything, real director.
Yo, I had what do you call them?
IFB
IFB in my ear and shit. It's nuts, and that's the first thing probably the first thing I ever did.
Yeah.
So to be on that stage, I was like,
Yeah,
I
big time,
remember
big
coming
time,
out there
right?
like, holy shit.
Roger, I'll never forget the day. Well, Frankie was the analyst on the show, but basically, he was the only one who had expertise. I'm a journalist, and I watch it. I train, but I'm not like Frankie Edgar.
He just heard the first 4 letters, and he's like, I'm in.
Right. So, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So Renzo Gracie's on, and it was before Frankie fought for the title with BJ Penn, and Renzo was going to fight Matt Hughes. So of course Renzo is, Renzo. You know what I mean? And I said to Frankie, "Hey, so Frankie, what does Renzo got to do to fight Matt Hughes?" And Frankie goes, "I'm not somebody to give Renzo Gracie any advice." And I'm like, "All right, but how about as a Fox News Fight Game analyst, what would you tell him?" And he's like, it was so funny because we all revered Renzo so much.
Yeah, I'm not telling Renzo
It's
nothing.
funny because can you hear me? This thing sounds like it keeps kind of. It's funny because as an analyst, right, you kind of do have to take a different role than you would, because there's a lot of dudes, you see them all the time. There's a lot of guys that have bad blood, like Cody and Dominic Cruz, for example, and you'll see Dominic asking Cody questions where if they were fighting each other, or even probably in any other setting other than that, they would not be getting along. But they, when you're in that role, you take a completely exactly.
Yeah.
You see DC do it.
Yeah.
It's very, I always say fighters have the thinnest skins and the longest memories. Because if I say something, they'll remember it for a long time.
True.
And, I said once, I just made a flipping comment about Rashad Evans, and somebody asked me, why does Rashad get booed all the time? This is on the Spike TV show. I did MMA Uncensored Live on Spike with Craig Carton. And I said, the problem with Rashad is not that he's a bad fighter, not that people don't like him. I said, but he doesn't know what to say. And he always says the wrong thing. And I was very technical about it. I said, he needs media training. Well, Rashad heard that, and he thought I was talking down on him. So I saw him in Denver. Remember, we were in Denver for something. I forgot what we were in.
My fight, probably.
Yeah, it was your fight, yeah. And, and Rashad came up to me at John Elway's restaurant at the Four Seasons, and he's like, "Yo, Straka, I need media training, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I wasn't saying anything bad about you. I'm just saying," I said, "I have media training. Everybody on TV should have media training." So fast forward a couple weeks later, he's fighting Phil Davis, and he's at that press conference, the week of the fight, and he says, "Oh yeah, I'm going to put my hands on you worse than that football coach is those kids."
Worse than saying dust. I'm gonna put my hands on you like saying dust. I thought that was great. I mean, maybe not the timing.
The timing was really bad.
Well, because Phil Davis is also a Penn State, State guy.
So of course he got a huge backlash. Dana had to apologize, and it was a bad. And then he saw me and he goes, "Straka, now I know what you were talking about." Yeah, because you run and you especially, and Roger, you got kind of thrust into the media as well. So you run things by your friends, and they're like, because they're not going to tell you, Frankie, I wouldn't say that because you're Frankie Edgar, you know what I mean? You're Roger Baptist, but somebody should have said to him, "Yo, Rashad, I probably wouldn't say that if I were you." And you got to have somebody who's been there, and because there are things that, God, I've said stuff that I regret.
I don't know how to feel about that. Maybe in that role, I would agree, but I don't think you can be PC all the time. You just can't be.
You can't make fun of kids getting molested.
As an analyst, I mean, okay, agreed, but I think it was in context talking about, I'm sure that guy wasn't actually molested. You know what I mean?
No, but it was just bad.
It was the timing. It was just the time. It was literally.
Chael Sonnen has been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah, but Chael Sonnen still never
makes fun of an entire country and doesn't.
Yeah, but that's different.
Still
different.
It's not the touchy subject at the moment. You know what I mean? It was like a taboo subject. How about that? Like making fun of something. I mean, it's taboo if you're Brazilian.
Yeah,
like some of those Brazilians wanted to kill him.
Fighting in
but
Brazil.
but still, when you heard what he was saying, what he's saying isn't none of the stuff he said was true.
Right.
It's almost like when I call you gay all the time. You know what I mean? Some people might think it's true. Okay.
All right.
But it's like that. That's what I think.
Okay.
You know
all
what
right,
I mean?
Fair enough.
That's how Chael, I think, would think. He'd be like, "Oh, he saw the bus and he tried feeding the bus. He was petting the bus." Come on, that's so silly. That's not true.
Well, obviously,
You know what I mean?
that example, yes, I would agree, is so overboard. But Colby Covington,
he does.
Colby
100%,
Covington,
100%.
Conor McGregor making fun of Muslim religion.
Well, that was stupid. That was pretty
Yes,
bad too.
You're attacking a religion.
Well, even what he said about Dustin's wife, your
wife's
like
in my
some things
DMs.
you don't
right.
don't
Honestly,
do.
but I couldn't believe he had his leg broken.
Yeah.
Honestly, I might have ran over and stomped on his fucking leg. He said that to me in that moment.
Yep.
But Dustin's is such a good dude.
He
bro.
is a good dude.
But you know what? That would have been all anybody talked about. Frankie Edgar stomped on Connor's broken leg.
So good after you said that. You know what I mean? Yo, you say that? That's fight. Those are fighting words, bro.
Absolutely.
Those are fighting words.
Yeah.
Especially the way it went down is because the lead up. If you recall, the lead up to that fight was cordial as hell. They were getting along. Oh, everything was getting along. And then you go and make a 180.
It was weird because that was the only fight I can remember Connor ever
being like nice,
being somewhat humble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, didn't he even say he was going to donate money to one of Dustin's
And
charities?
Dustin said he didn't until he called him out, and then he did.
Yeah.
Oh, remember when Paul Daly sucker punched Koscheck?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yep.
And I remember I was there. I think you were there too, right? And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. And then when I look at it now, it doesn't even look that bad. Like,
But still, Dana was pissed.
Fired him on the spot. The only two people I can remember that Dana fired on the spot was him and the guy that holds the leg locks too long. What was his name? The Brazilian guy.
Husamal Paul Harris. No.
Yeah.
Paul
Harris.
Oh, yeah,
Taquinho,
Taquinho.
yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Paul Harris did it like 4 fights in a row or some shit like that.
Bro.
Yeah.
That was fucked up.
Yeah, that was bad.
Like either he's a little slow or he's an asshole.
Well,
One or the other.
they said he would do it in BJJ comps too, so it wasn't just in.
Yeah, but maybe
UFC.
he's a little slow.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Or something.
Yeah.
Like,
But I mean-
or you're just that big of a dickhead.
I don't
'Cause
think
that's
so.
Crazy.
I think he's that big of a dickhead because that was his move. Like nobody leg locks like that guy does. You know what I mean? Knee bars, and he would
Gary
hold
Tonin beat him.
Yeah, true. Oh,
Gary Tonin's tiny.
he's been knocked out in the UFC before. I forget who did it, but I'm pretty sure he's been knocked out.
Paul Harris.
Paul Harris, I think he's been knocked
Didn't
out.
Alan Belcher? Alan Belcher beat him.
Yeah, Alan Belcher's a beast.
Yeah. He actually beat him with the leg lock game. He even entered the leg locks and defended it. It was pretty impressive.
Dude,
What is that? Okay, since you brought his name up, what is that tattoo on Belcher's arm? Is that Elvis?
No,
it's Johnny
Oh, is that
Cash.
Johnny Cash? Okay.
It's so funny you mentioned that because
it's just so by itself. It needs some shit around it. It's just
the
You
first
put some
time,
guitars.
yeah, or it's just a music
It
note,
needs to be in a sleeve
or a
something.
music note or something. Because when I first saw it too, I said, "Is that your father?
Yeah.
Like, is that a tattoo
Yeah,
of your
yeah,
grandfather?"
yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
"No, it's Johnny Cash." I'm like, "Oh, okay, now I see it."
I love Johnny Cash, so
Yeah.
now I get it. But I couldn't watching it on TV. I'm like, is that fucking Elvis? What is that on his arm?
Yeah, well, the funny thing about Belcher is like he went to BKFC.
Yeah,
Right?
he's big.
Dude,
heavyweight, too.
he's huge.
Yeah.
He's huge. He was never that big in the UFC.
No.
And I was like, when I saw how big he was, and I was like, oh
He's
my
85er in the UFC, right?
Yeah. I'm like, I would not want to bare knuckle fight Alan Belcher. Oh my God, he's
Those
a
bare knuckle
monster.
fights are-
They're brutal,
Yeah,
especially
they
the women's fights.
Who was the guy? He fought Fedor. They both knocked each other down. He ended up knocking Fedor out. He had he always did the twitch thing. He was a great fighter too. I'm surprised-
Hendo?
No.
knocked Fedor out.
I'm pretty sure he knocked Fedor out. I think they both fucking hit each other at the same time, but Fedor didn't get up. He got up.
That was a movie you watched, bro.
Maybe.
No way.
Okay. Anyway, regardless, this guy was a great fighter. Light heavyweight, I think, but he had the twitch. He always did the twitch. He was in the fight house.
Chris
like the
Lieben?
Dante thing. No, not Liebman.
No, but Fedor didn't fight anybody in the UFC.
I could have swore he fought. No, I know it wasn't
Except
in the UFC.
Hendo.
It wasn't in the
No, I don't
UFC.
think he didn't fight Dan Henderson.
Ah, whatever. If you can't think of it, we'll move on.
Oh, he
but
fought him in
I'll
Strike
think of
Force.
it.
He fought Hendo in Strike Force.
He did?
Yeah.
Henderson beat him.
Yeah, Henderson
Yeah,
beat him.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, he
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
give
yeah.
him that
Yeah,
on the
under-
ground.
under the armpit.
And
Yeah.
he just
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
face
yeah,
planted.
yeah,
You didn't even
yeah.
see it happen, and he was out.
Those
Yeah.
armpit shots are
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
brutal.
Yeah.
Dude, who was
Matt, fuck, what's his last name? Matt, he was good too, bro. He's fucking.
Can you look up Fedor's record?
What? That's
I could have
killing you
swore
right now.
he fought Fedor. I could have swore. Maybe I know it wasn't the UFC.
Matt Mitrione?
Mitrione. Did
Yeah,
he ever fight Fedor? I
I
thought he fought Fedor.
He did fight Fedor.
Yeah, didn't they both hit each other?
Mitrione. Oh, what, in Bellator? Maybe
Yeah.
Where
It
is
was
he
in
now? My
Bellator.
question was going to be, where is he now? Is he fighting?
Oh, Mitrione?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was good,
No,
bro.
he's not fighting anymore.
No.
He's not fighting anymore.
He was like an NFL guy, right?
Yeah, he was. I used to call him Matty. Like,
Yeah.
he's such a big dude. I'm like, yo, what's up, Matty? He's like,
Yeah.
what's up, Mikey? And I'm like, how am I calling this guy Matty? He's like 3 times my size. Anyway, I liked him.
So he never fought Fedor? I made that
Yeah,
up in
he
my
did.
head?
He
Oh,
did.
he did.
Oh,
I
shit.
could have sworn.
in Bellator.
I thought he beat
No,
Fedor.
yeah, no, he didn't beat Fedor.
He didn't beat Fedor.
No.
Let's see. I'm gonna find. I'm gonna look right here.
No, what's his name beat Fedor with a triangle choke.
Verdum.
Yeah,
Right?
Yes.
Fabricio Verdum.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was his first, and then he
Verdum's
lost to
legit,
Hendo,
bro.
Yeah, then he fought Hendo. Well, for a while there, I think Verdum was like the best BJJ guy in MMA for a while. That was
Matt Mitrione, TKO. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, they fucking rocked each other at the same time,
and then he got,
and they both went down, and Fedor didn't get up. Wow. I know it. You said I fucking made that, saw
Dude,
that on TV.
That sounds like a movie, though. That doesn't sound like a fucking movie.
I think he also fought Brett Rogers in.
He did lose to Brett Rogers.
Yeah, no, I don't think
Wasn't
he
there
lost.
some crazy?
Yeah, he almost lost.
He did. He almost lost.
He got
Brett
his
Rogers.
nose. I remember his nose was like on the other side of his face.
Yeah.
Brett Rogers was a big dude.
Yeah, that was right. That was right before he went on his like.
Yeah,
His,
some
like,
crazy shit.
domestic
Brett-
violence. Domestic
Fedor?
violence.
No, you're talking about
Oh,
Brett.
Fedor.
No,
Well, either one.
Some crazy shit
Fedor.
happened
After the
with
Brett Rogers,
Rogers.
he
Yeah.
lost 3 in a row.
Yeah. But he has a crazy story. Some
Brett Rogers?
personal life shit was,
Yeah.
in his life was crazy.
Yeah. It's funny because after he fought, I think it was Fedor. I was at that fight too, and then I interviewed him after the fight, but I gave the microphone to his wife. And I said, you know what? You do the interview. And she was like, really? So she did it, and it was really cute. And he gave her a kiss at the end of the interview, and then like 2 months later, he got arrested for beating her up or whatever it was.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
He didn't like the questions.
No, there was more to it than that. I think there was some pedo shit or something like that. Yeah. I don't know how that all worked out in court. But
Did Brett Rogers fight Kimbo?
I don't think so.
No,
they were in a different time. Kimbo came up with Elite XC. That was the first time he fought, and he fought that guy from London and popped his ear.
Oh yeah.
What was that?
That guy
Thompson.
Josh
Thompson.
He lost
Killer-
it.
killer
Josh Thompson lost to everybody though.
Yeah,
he lost to Emelianenko's brother.
Yeah, I forgot his first name.
I can't think of it either.
Alexander.
He lost to him.
Yeah.
He did. Brett Rogers almost. I know where
He almost beat Fedor.
Yeah,
he knocked his nose.
He
I remember oh my goodness.
I didn't think Fedor was coming back from that.
Yeah, neither did I actually. I really thought he was going to win, man. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking because back then it was the big Gary Shaw versus Dana White, and we always took Dana's side because we were UFC guys, and I shouldn't have been, but I was because I wanted to cover the best promotion, so I didn't really care about Gary Shaw. So
that was Elite XC.
Yeah. So when Gary Shaw came and he was a boxing guy that went to MMA, and Dana was like, he doesn't know anything about MMA, blah blah. And then when they got Fedor, Gary Shaw was like, ha 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 ha, and then he almost lost to Brett Rogers, and Fedor and Dana was like, I told you, put him in the UFC. He ain't gonna be as good as everybody thinks he is.
Yeah. What was the reason for that? Wasn't that he didn't want to give up his image and likeness or something like that?
No. This is what I heard.
Vadim.
Well, his manager wanted to
co-promote
with the UFC.
Yeah. Okay.
He wanted to get like 10 of Fedor's teammates in the UFC. All this stuff,
Okay,
and there's no way that the UFC is co-promoting with anyone.
No.
You guys clearly know better than I did. But
they
the story,
did co-promote.
O'Connor.
Yeah.
But that wasn't their event.
And that's also hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, but also they didn't co-promote a UFC show.
No.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think they would do that.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, now Dana's got that boxing match coming up.
It's called Zuffa.
Yeah.
Zuffa Boxing, and Did you see Canelo and
I saw
and Bud their little thing?
Squabble.
Dude, Canelo got after him, bro. You don't even speak English. You know what I mean? Really? Yeah. He's like, name one notable opponent. Name one. Name one. He's like, Victor Postel in Elite. He's like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? It's like, great.
Who the fuck is that?
Who's this guy?
He kind of reminds me.
Brady's like, how long is this fight in the making? He's like, never. I never thought I'd fight this guy. You kidding me? Yo.
It's like when Anderson had that high-pitched voice.
All of the great fighters do. Tyson did.
Yeah.
They all did.
Yeah. Anderson.
Marlon.
Marlon
Moran.
Dude, somebody just said that about Marlon today. I just saw this post on Facebook. It was so random. And it was like, these are the UFC fighters who are now cops.
Yeah.
And then some rando made a comment and said, can you imagine Marlon Moran is pulling, you know why I pulled you over?
Yeah.
You know who else is a cop? I just saw Johnny Hendricks. Johnny Hendricks is a cop now.
Yeah, that might be the same post. But they forgot Jimmy Rivera is also a cop.
He's a cop in
and Luigi
Ridgewood, right? No.
Yeah, Ridgewood.
Is it Ridgewood?
Yeah. Or Ridgefield, maybe.
No,
it's Ridge.
Like that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Luigi Fioravanti, remember him? The Italian tank?
Oh, yeah.
He's a cop. He was a cop in St. Louis, and now he moved to Miami. He's a cop in Miami now.
Well, talking about cops, right? Talk about I can't think of his name, but
a guy
that went completely the other way. One of the early UFC guys from England. ended up pulling off one of the biggest.
Lee Murray.
Lee Murray.
Yeah, the biggest
Dude,
bank heist
They say
ever.
they say that guy was like fucking just dangerous. He fought Tito Ortiz in like
in the street. Yeah.
They knocked him out.
Yeah, they said he was like the epitome.
Tito
of
knocked him
fucking
out, right?
badass.
No.
You know
Lee-
Tito.
This is
out.
when Tito was the
How
UFC
story,
champion.
How the story goes anyway. I don't know if it's true.
I think
No, it's true.
Chuck
It's true.
said it. Chuck was there. Chuck said he saw it happen.
This, I mean, you talk about a straight up fucking gangster. That dude is a.
He's
gangster.
like a character out of Snatch.
He is.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Yes.
actually, I think one of the characters was based on him
Really?
in Snatch.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
or maybe it was Snatch.
Will
Yeah.
he ever get out? How many years he get?
Dude, they don't even know which jail he's in.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like
yeah.
he's
Well, it's
like
in Morocco,
Morocco.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one of those jails where you just disappear, man.
Right.
Like who knows if that guy's still
It's
alive?
like that movie Bronson. You ever see that?
Yeah, yeah.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
great.
I'm watching Mobland right now. Good, dude.
That's what I hear. I don't have it's on Max, right? No, it's on Paramount.
Paramount,
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
have it. I don't have Paramount. I'm trying to watch every time. I'm like, I got to get Paramount TV.
Yeah.
I'm just so you cut the cord for
I know,
cable.
man. And then
That's
you
what I
buy
did.
all
I
these-
couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it anymore.
I've
and,
got
and then my friend gave me this box that I get like 3,500 channels. And I don't know how to operate it.
Yeah, I discovered those boxes. I went to detox and rehab
Okay.
because I was drinking way too much. I mean, I was drinking all the time. You knew me back then, and when you live that lifestyle, man.
Don't look over
I mean,
here.
look at John Jones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
His new one?
I did,
Did you
yeah,
see this new one?
yeah.
What's that?
John Jones got in trouble
I
again.
saw, yeah, but that dates back to January.
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Just
but-
shit's getting out now.
Yeah, right.
Well, they
do you
just
think- do you
charged
think-
him.
It's crazy.
Yes,
dog.
I
Did you
do.
see it? Did you
Do you
watch the
think-
video?
Yes, I do. It's
That
not a
is, I think, what,
coincidence.
Directly related
Yeah,
to why
of
he
course.
retired.
Of course it
Oh,
is.
Dana alluded to. I don't know if it has anything to do with it or not.
Of
but
course it does. I mean,
it has to.
It has to. It has to. Like,
Well, I
he
mean, it's
knew
just
his.
tough to prove this one though on him.
Well,
Because
did you see the body cam footage?
yeah,
You hear
You
him.
hear him.
It's
It's
him.
clearly
It's
his
100%
voice.
Him. It's 100% him. But still, like you can't. How are they going to prove who was driving?
Right.
They can't prove that.
Unless the girl says he was
Well, yeah.
driving.
So what?
What if her fingerprints aren't on the steering wheel?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one.
You know what I mean? Like if her
And
if her
supposedly she had
prints
no pants on.
if her prints are
You know
not
that?
yeah, that's what I heard too.
Not his wife, correct?
No,
Yeah, they never are, Roger.
They never are. Yeah.
that's just a shame, man. Because like, damn,
It is a shame.
it's almost like though it has to be that way, right?
But
like,
you don't
like all the. If you want to be a great, you can't be just great. You have to be infamous, right?
well, I don't know.
I mean, listen.
Can you name? I mean, there are
go
clean
ahead.
fighters that live their whole life clean. I mean, like Mike Tyson's
Cormier.
not the best example.
Yeah.
He had a lot of,
But why he's the most famous?
George St. Pierre probably lived a very
Yes,
clean life,
100%.
right? Yeah.
100%.
But people forget about George now.
That's what I'm saying.
It's true. Like
what I mean.
people
Like,
ask me,
What's
you
the difference
can't be
between
famous, you have to be infamous.
and
Right.
infamous. Yeah. What is it? Who? So where do you draw the line?
I mean, Chad
where do
Ochocinco-
you go from just being famous to infamous? Who? You said George St. Pierre isn't infamous. He's famous.
Famous.
Yeah.
I don't think infamous is a good thing either.
No.
I'm not saying
Okay,
it's a good
okay.
thing. I'm
I
not
mean,
saying
look
it's
at
a good
Chad
thing.
Ochocinco.
Mike Tyson is infamous.
Infamous.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali.
Infamous.
Infamous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, because did it the biggest. He's infamous. Although he has nothing really bad on him.
I don't think he's got any bad shit.
Although he does a little bit.
Yeah.
Remember, he gambled,
Yeah.
right? His dad got fucking killed by probably people that he messed
Well,
with gambling.
we don't know about that.
I mean, listen.
We don't know
He
about
stopped in the height of his career.
Kobe
to play
would be
baseball.
a better example of infamous, right? He's got some
Well, yeah, 'cause
controversy.
I think he got set up, man. I mean, he shouldn't have been cheating on his wife in the first place,
Right,
but I
right.
think he got set up.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people get set up that
Yeah.
are millionaires. Obviously, a lot
Yeah.
of people do. You know.
I mean, I hate to say it, but you gotta when you're that young and that famous. Like John was young when he was 24 years old when he got
Youngest
the belt.
champion ever.
And don't forget, it's easy for us to not for us. I mean, it's easy for people like me, like observers of the sport, to be like sitting on a couch and criticizing him. But John's brothers are both in the NFL.
Yeah, world champions.
Yeah, and when you think about that, like Chandler Jones, his younger brother, signed $11 million signing bonus or something like that when he signed with the Patriots. And here he is. John is like the UFC light heavyweight champion. His big brother Arthur won a ring with the Ravens.
Yeah.
So to him, he's third place in the family, even though he's the best fighter in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, think about
Well,
that.
I think one of the other brothers kind of went.
Yeah, Chandler
like
did.
A
Yeah,
breakdown.
Chandler did.
Yeah. But you got. I mean, listen. These guys are playing football. They're getting punched in the head. You know what I mean? Like that matters. That matters. Crack in your head.
Yep.
It matters.
It does.
For life choices, you're saying?
For how you act.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody.
Look at what.
Not everybody becomes, but like.
Look at what's going on with BJ Penn right now.
Erratic behavior. Yeah.
We brought up BJ Penn a few times.
And Matt Hughes.
Oh well, Matt Hughes is just he got injured. You know.
Yeah,
he got hit by a train.
Yeah, I know, but the controversy with the whole wife thing happened prior to the train. I think it did.
It did. He had they already had a restraining order on him, his kids and his wife.
I heard he had it against his brother too.
Yeah.
Like he must have been in a bad spot.
Yeah.
But you wonder, like, obviously he has brain damage from getting hit by the train, but did he have brain damage before that?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's tough, man.
Tough. Yeah.
Who was the guy? Benoit, right? Benoit.
Yeah.
Benoit. Bro, that's a crazy one.
That is.
There's a picture of him with a fan.
Yeah, after he
murdered his whole family.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What a shame. Yeah. That's just a terrible story. I don't even like thinking about that story.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, speaking of WWE, not to bring Rhonda into this, but Rhonda's got a movie coming out about her life.
I heard. I
Netflix.
heard they just
got a
found the
director.
Yeah. That's gonna be cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she had, a lot of people don't know. Like her dad killed himself.
She was only 7 years old.
Yeah. You know, she had to deal with that. Her mom was a
world champion in judo.
Judo. So the mom raised her. So she
famous or infamous?
Rhonda?
Infamous.
Rhonda's infamous.
Yeah.
Especially the way she's the first woman. She had, a little attitude about her. She went to WWE. Yeah, I think she's infamous.
Infamous. And also the way she treated Misha Tate and even Holly, And
the way it came back to her, too.
Yeah.
That's kind of infamous.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I may have this wrong, but when she fought Amanda, didn't she refuse to do any press, anything? She was so focused.
She did.
Yeah.
She did. But I think that was smart.
Yeah.
Because when she lost to Holly, that's all she did. She was the headliner in Melbourne, Australia. First time they were in Melbourne. And she had the entire card on her shoulders. And she was doing press. And I remember watching going, she should be training. Why is she doing this now? 3 months before the fight, she's out there in Australia promoting the fight. Right. And I'm like, this is not. I knew right there wasn't going to be good.
Running through people though. You know what I mean? Like she started believing her own hype too much. I think
she was
beating people. And remember Instagram? You can only do 14-second videos. Remember Instagram? One of her fights was able to do a 14-second Instagram. You know what I mean? Like pretty crazy.
She was arm barring everybody. I think until Betch Correia, which she knocked out.
And that was the worst thing that happened.
That was the worst thing that could happen.
She had fucking Mayweather hands.
Remember Betch was like this,
and that's Edwin's
5
fault.
seconds later, she was asleep.
Edward or Edwin Travers.
Yeah, Edwin. Right?
Head movement. Head movement.
Yeah.
Head movement.
No. That was terrible. Yeah. Poor guy. He got a lot of bad press too for that.
I think he went anywhere after that.
What a shame. Yeah. But that was the worst thing that happened to her because she thought she could stand with Holly Holm. Holly Holm was a world champion boxer before she even got into MMA.
She's actually coming back to boxing.
Yep.
But she's gonna be on that Jake Paul card. Actually,
I saw that.
That's the same night as.
I know he's going head to head with UFC that night.
July.
That's right. Yeah.
July, right?
Yeah, I think so. I forgot.
There's another fight too, a women's fight, on the same night. Because I just read something about that. Yeah,
like MMA fight.
I think so. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Oh man, you're talking about Holly? Duh, it is a women's fight. Never mind. Well, yeah. I'm an idiot.
How about the fights this weekend?
Oh, God.
I didn't watch them.
No.
The ones that are coming up.
Jamal Hill?
Nobody watched them yet. No, that was last weekend. That was Jamal Hill,
I didn't watch last weekend.
I watched a little bit. I didn't watch all of it. It's just tough sometimes.
Dude, what was the score? 45-50 rounds or something, right? It was
50-45.
50-45, right? Yeah. I'm saying that's a big gap, and
he just won every round.
But I mean, Hill seemed like he was totally dejected at the score.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you didn't do anything.
I don't know if he was like, I can't believe I lost, or I don't know if it was like I lost. I think I don't know if he was surprised he lost. I think he was surprised he lost by that much.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like, dude, 50-45, really?
You know what's so like, and you know this, not personally, but you know this because you're in the game. So sometimes you're watching fights, Roger, and you're like, we're lay people. So I'm like, this guy is so out of the fight, but yet in his mind he thinks he won, right? And I've seen so many fights where I'm like, dude, what were you thinking? And then they get out and they're raising their hands and they're like, they act like they're surprised. I'm like, dude, what were you thinking while you were fighting? Like, how do you not know that you were getting beat so badly?
I've 100% seen that, but I think the majority of fights I've seen, you see the loser dejected. He knows that more often than not. I don't know what those guys are thinking, especially like.
Well, I mean, your corners are like, put your hands up. Put your hands up. When it's a close fight, you never know. And they're supposed, put your hands up. I don't know. Maybe that's just like a habit. I'll put my hands up. But I don't know. I feel like I was the type of guy like, damn, even if I won it, but damn, it's kind of close. You know what I mean? Like, wait, or spar. I was the guy in sparring. I'm like, damn, I didn't do too good today. I'm like, Mark like, dude, you did good. And I would watch the fight. I'm gonna watch the tape. I'm like, oh, I did all better. I'd rather be that guy than be like, oh, I killed this guy. I killed him. And watch the tape. Like, dude, I got my ass kicked.
Yeah.
You know?
I know your answer because you're a humble dude, but it's a podcast, so go with it. In your opinion, in your career, how many fights did you think you won, but the judges didn't rule in your favor? I can think of 2.
I think of 2.
I'll say 3.
You think 3? Benson, Aldo?
Benson, Aldo.
Okay.
What
3 in a row.
What about the Maynard draw? I think you won that fight.
I'll give that one, but I didn't lose. I consider it a loss, but I think that definitely the Benson, the second Benson for sure. I thought I won 4 rounds to 1.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That was the up kick one, right?
No, that was in Japan. Yeah. But even then, I thought I won. I won the first round easily. I was winning the second round by a bunch, and then he up kicks me and let the last 5 seconds. But I still thought I won. At least another one in the next 3 rounds. But I mean, whatever.
Did you see? I just saw a picture of Conor McGregor lying on a boat with just like his bikini bathing suit on. He looks like he weighs like 240.
Oh, he's a big boy, I'm sure.
He's so big.
He's done.
Well, I mean,
he's got like those frog legs. Like his thighs are like this big, and then his shins are like this big. You know what I mean? So funny. Yeah, he's definitely. Him and Jake Gyllenhaal must be hanging out together. Got the same. What was that guy that did A-Rod?
Balco.
Balco.
Yeah.
Wasn't that kind of the reason that he didn't come back? Everybody suspects because he couldn't pass the USADA, right?
Well, he did, but he did go back into the testing pool afterwards.
Yeah.
And he got a lot smaller, too.
Okay.
But I don't think he's in the testing pool currently. I wonder. No one's even talking about him fighting. For a minute, they were. There was rumbles of him coming back.
Nobody cares anymore. Did you see somebody edited his Wikipedia and they added all those people he knocked out in the bars?
Did they?
No way.
It's hilarious. The old man,
fucking way.
The guy in
recently. Somebody just knocked someone out.
A couple weeks ago. Where is it? Ibiza.
Ibiza.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. I laughed so hard when I saw that. I'm like, that is genius.
Yeah.
And it said unknown fighter in Spain.
That's literally on his Wikipedia?
Yeah. Well, it might be changed now, but
that's crazy.
It was pretty good. I'm sure there's screen grabs of it everywhere if you want to look it up. It's pretty funny. Anyway, Conor's. Well, back to Jones. What makes it more sad is that he is arguably the best MMA fighter, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how Dana announces his retirement. Like, oh yeah, by the way, John called and he's done. He retired.
Well, he was pissed. He was asked the question.
Pissed. He thought it was done. Remember, he said, "I thought it was a done deal," and then he changed his mind. So I think he was upset. I still don't think it's a done deal. How about that? I think John might be playing this game, trying to get more money.
I know.
Let people get him to come.
But how much more money does he?
I think the UFC, the smart move right now.
Well, because he probably wants like a boxing payday.
Right, which is fine. 30 to 50 million. I agree. Yeah. However, they're not too. I would venture to guess they're not too far from that number already.
Well, especially if they thought he was going to do it.
Yeah,
but don't they have to? Isn't the right move right now to put him on ice a little bit with all this shit going on with another?
Well, nothing's proved yet. Nothing's proved yet. Yeah. And like Frankie said, nothing's proved yet.
I don't think so.
No.
They can't
it's
really
fighting, bro. It's different. Like that's why Dana never gives a fuck what you say, this and that, because it's fighting, bro.
Yeah,
we're not like. I know people look at athletes as these role models and stuff, but I think fighters should probably be the last of the role models
right.
to pick. And I'm not. I'm sure there's many fighters that can be good role models. I'm not saying that, but like, why do you want a fighter to be your kid's role model?
I would agree. I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys are kind of scumbags.
Some of us.
Didn't you walk out of Cinderella Man once?
Who?
Didn't you walk out to Cinderella Man?
But Biggie,
the song?
Mm-mm.
You didn't?
No.
Maybe it was a promo video that I watched.
Maybe a promo video. Never watched this. No. Always Biggie since 2009. Before that, I did some others.
Yeah.
It had to have been at one of those UFC produced events, like a pre-show, a pre-fight show. Because I remember you walking out, and I was like, "That's awesome!" Because it was right after the movie Cinderella Man came out.
It had to be like a pre-show or something. Like
what do you call those shows? What was the name of those shows?
Countdowns.
Countdowns, yeah. It must have been a countdown.
Yeah, countdowns, yeah.
Remember the first show you were on? I remember. It was an MTV.
Oh, True Life.
True Life.
Oh, yeah.
I was an MTV star before Roger.
That's right,
That's
baby.
right.
That's right.
That's true. Very true.
Followed you all the way to your wedding, and you're still fucking hanging tough, buddy. What year was that?
06?
07.
Holy shit.
Well, no, 07, 08. It was 07, 08 during that time.
So you were in a training camp for part of that, right? And then it followed you. The ending was your wedding, essentially, wasn't it?
So no, I was in the training camp. Well, first they came out before my training camp. We had like did a little bachelor party thing and stuff like that. They filmed some of that. They filmed some of the stuff me and Renee planning the wedding. And then I had a training camp. I fought, and then I got married 10 days later.
Who'd you fight?
Gray Man, the first one.
No. Yeah. You were the original Tommy Cheeseballs.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
MTV, Tommy Cheeseballs?
He got into it with some kids I know.
Really?
And they would have smoked him, bro. They would have smoked that
I'm
fool.
sure.
Who's Tommy Cheeseballs?
Remember the guy that came down? Give me my fucking cheese balls.
I
want my cheese ball. Give me the fucking cheese balls.
It was an MTV thing, like when they
MTV Beach House or summer.
They followed this guy around.
I went through I'm older than you guys. I'm 55, so I went through in the 90s and the early 2000s. I was too busy to watch anything. Like I watched the Tough Show because I had to. It was part of my job, but for the most part, I didn't watch TV. I was too busy making TV. Yeah. But I had a good run at Fox, man. I did Oscars. I did Super Bowls. I did 4 Super Bowls. Dude, I interviewed Peyton Manning after they beat I forgot who they beat. The Colts won the Super Bowl. Oh, against the Giants, I think it was.
No. Colts beat. I don't remember.
It was in Miami. And Prince did the halftime show. He sang Purple Rain in the rain. It was awesome. It was just a great. So it was a CBS game, and I'm a Fox guy. So I happened to interview Archie Manning and his wife leading up to the game. So I saw Mrs. Manning. I'm like, Mrs. Manning. She's like, hey. She gave me a hug. So I looked at my camera guy. I go, just walk. Just walk with us. So we were walked into the locker room with the Mannings, and nobody said anything to me. And I'm like, after I got back to New York and I edited the piece, they're like, how'd you get in the locker room? I'm like, never ask permission. Always ask forgiveness.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But, you said something earlier that fighters don't forget.
Yeah, they don't.
I can think of a couple examples with Ariel Helwani where they don't forget. Rampage brought up some shit. Nate Diaz. Yep. No, Nick Diaz.
Nick Diaz. Yeah, people get slapped in my neighborhood the same shit you say.
Exactly. You instigate fights.
Yeah.
Like, interview fighters. It's like, no, you instigate fights. Yeah. So didn't he just get his press credentials given back to him after 10 years of not having it?
Who knows?
No, where in UFC?
I thought Ariel.
I don't think he.
No, he never did. I thought he got him back.
What? Oh, that's right. He did the Brock Lesnar.
That's what pissed Dana off. He broke that Brock Lesnar story. Yeah.
But that's his job.
Yeah. Well, it's your job, but when you're getting paid by
the UFC,
it's kind of a problem. Yeah. You're supposed to kind of be working for them a little bit too.
I remember I got yelled at. Remember Jen Wank?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jen yelled at me. It was in not Michigan. For crying out loud. Where was Jesse Ventura governor? Minnesota. All right. Remember the fight in Minnesota? I think that was when Canadian guy George St. Pierre. Oh no, he beat John Fitch.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, Fitch looked like he got hit by a truck.
He did. Yeah. He did.
What a warrior, man. Yeah. Anyway, I interviewed Jesse Ventura. He was governor of Minnesota. So Jen's like, Mike, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm like, I'm interviewing the governor. She's like, you're not supposed to be here. I'm like, I work for Fox News. Of course I'm going to interview the Republican governor of Minnesota.
Right.
I mean, come on, Jen. And she's like, all right, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
But she was so mad at me. She's like, what are you doing in here?
Wow,
I'm like,
what the okay, that's probably good press.
I don't know, man. They were very territorial. Back in the day, I got carte blanche because back then I was the only guy. I remember I'd run around the octagon with my camera crew. It was like I could do anything I wanted. It was weird. And then as it started getting bigger and bigger and more staff came on, it was like, all right, Mike, you sit right there. You don't move until we tell you to move. And it took me like a couple of fights to actually start listening. But I didn't want to get in trouble with Dana. So
yeah.
Who is your if you had to pick a favorite fighter? Who would it be?
Frankie Edgar.
Same.
No, Frankie obviously is one of them, but Anderson Silva. Anderson came at me one night in Montreal. He fought one of the not Talos Lattes. He fought Talos Lattes in Abu Dhabi, right? That was that horrible fight.
No, that was he fought Damian Maia.
Okay, all right. So it was Talis Lattes he fought.
Mm-hmm.
And he did the same thing and did this running around. He was circled around, and people were booing. People were leaving in Monch Bell Center. And this was big for UFC back in the day because they sold out the Bell Center. That's a huge arena. So people were leaving, and so at the press conference, I said, "Hey, Anderson, do you have a problem fighting other Brazilians?" And he goes, "No pregunta. I don't. No entiendo la pregunta." And Ed Suarez is like, he doesn't understand the question, Mike. I'm like, well, you know what? He didn't do anything, during that fight. And I think people want to know why.
Yeah.
So Chuck Liddell started yelling at me. He's like, Mike, you know what? You tried being a stand-up fighter, and a guy jumps into guard every time. And then Dana gave Chuck a look because Dana was happy with my question because he was pissed at Anderson.
Yeah, he was. Dude, he was pissed at Anderson a couple times.
Yeah. I mean, but I think Anderson was my favorite fighter when he was dynamic,
Yeah.
Like when he knocked out Forrest Griffin with a jab in Philadelphia. You fought that night too.
No. Ricardo fought.
He was
night.
backing up.
Right.
He was backing up.
It
and
was
he caught him with a jab, and Forrest Griffin went down. And didn't Forrest run out of the fucking ring?
He did.
He ran out of the ring.
Well, you know why? Because remember Junior Seau had a TV show called, I think, Dirty Jobs or something like that.
No, Mike Rowe is Dirty Jobs, but
it was something like that. It was called something Jobs, and Junior Seau was he was a corner guy and they were filming it for this show.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
And I think Forrest was just so embarrassed he was that not only is this going to be in the UFC, it's going to be on Junior Seau's show. I just think that there was a lot going on.
Yeah,
and Forrest also, one day, we were in Boston for Connor's first fight in UFC, and I'm going down the escalator, and Forrest is coming up. And I had just interviewed him for his book called You Got Fight, which was like a play on You've Got Milk. And he said, he's like, yo, Mike, what's up, man? Good to see you. Hey, thanks for helping me move some books because I put them on Fox. And then next time I saw him, I'm like, hey, Forrest. He's like,
wait, You've Got Milk or You've Got Mail?
You've Got Fight was the name of his book.
No, but you said it's a play on You've Got Milk?
What was that? The milk commercial. Got Milk. It was
Got
called
Milk.
Got Fight.
Okay.
So then you're right. So then next time I saw him, I was like, "What's up, Forrest?" He's like, just looked at me like he never saw me before in his life. So I just think he had some kind of or he has sort of a personality.
I sat next to him at a fight one time, right next to him, and he was giving us commentary on. It was funnier listening to him give commentary on the fight. Liebman was fighting, I remember.
Chris Liebman?
Yeah, I forget where we were. I don't know if we were in Vegas, where we were, but Liebman was fighting. And he's giving commentary on it. It was hysterical. Forrest he's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And we said Mike Rowe. I met Mike Rowe on the Fox Fight Game.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Mike Rowe.
He was a guest, I guess, before.
That's right. You met Mayweather, too.
Mayweather, too, yeah.
Dude, it was awesome. It was you, me. I think Henzo might have been there that night.
He may have, yeah.
Because Mayweather said to Frankie, no, I said to Mayweather, you ever going to do MMA? And he goes, these guys don't want to fight me. And Frankie goes, I'll fight you. Right? Remember that?
They were like...
And then Mayweather's like, oh, shit, this guy's actually a fighter.
Yeah.
He didn't know. And he's like, oh, shit. It was great.
How many guys, there's definitely guys that have gone from MMA to boxing and done well. How many, the only guy I can think of is that heavyweight James Toney, who got smoked in no time.
The only one.
I fought on that card.
Yeah, the only successful one was Holly Holm.
Holly Holm,
yeah.
True.
But she submersive. She's a mixed martial artist. She kickboxer.
Well,
Preacher's daughter.
Going back to James Toney, so Randy's birthday was on Sunday.
He begged for that fight for months.
And Randy said as soon as James got in the ring in the octagon, he said he saw he had these
the ankle bands.
Bands. He's like, oh, this is going to be really easy because it was a low single.
Yeah, he stood.
It was a low single, and any UFC fighter can get out of a low single.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
it's easy to kick out of it.
Yeah,
you don't have but
with the ankle,
with the ankle, it's like a wrestling. In wrestling, I could attack below your knee,
right?
So I can grab your foot on the shoe. But no, you don't have a shoe on, I kick right out.
Right.
But with those anklets, it kind of gives you a handle. Stupid.
It's the first thing Randy said. He said, "Oh man, I saw those things and I just smiled to myself, like, all right, this could be even easier than I thought it was going to be."
I saw him interviewed, and he had some statement, something like, they said, "How do you plan on boxing with James Toney?" And he said, "I don't have to box with James Toney. I just have to stand in there long enough to get a hold of him, and then it's over."
One of my favorite Randy quotes was after he fought Brock Lesnar. Randy's
meat hooks. He called his hands
meat hooks. That's exactly. He goes, yeah, once he got those meat hooks on me, it was a problem. Brock was
he
a
did
big
okay
kid.
though. I mean, you know, as
That was
obviously
a
he got
big
steamrolled.
size difference.
Dude,
Huge size.
20-year age difference,
Yeah,
maybe.
and size difference.
Yeah, Brock. I interviewed Brock on the Fighting Word show, and he put his hand next to mine. I look like a little kid.
Yeah,
like seriously,
He's
I'm
huge.
like he's huge.
Yeah.
Brock.
His daughter?
No.
Bro, his daughter is like one of the best shot putters in the country.
Really good.
Wow.
She looks like
Just
Brock
like
Lesnar
wow.
with
Just
the
like
wig.
him. Yep.
Wow.
Crazy.
Brock's a beast.
His
man.
son's like a good athlete too, I think.
Yeah, I forget what he does, but he's a good athlete too.
Yeah, a lot of these people forget, like even like John Cena and go back to Bobby Lashley. They were Olympic wrestlers, man.
No.
Bobby Lashley was.
No.
Yeah, he was.
No.
Yes, he was.
No, he was not.
You're
He was a
listen,
Division II wrestler.
He got shot,
You were never going to win this argument with
He's
Frankie.
not an Olympic wrestler.
but he was going to be.
Yeah, a lot of people try to be.
No,
Olympic
I mean,
wrestlers,
he-
but they don't end up.
I was
got-
going to be on the
he got
Jamaican
shot
bobsled
during
team,
a
so-
bank robbery or something like that.
He's robbing banks.
No. But no, he at least that's the story he told me on my show.
No, listen. He may have went to the Olympic trials
Right.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
But anyway, he was still a good wrestler.
Very good. Very good.
I mean, look at Trenton State. They're Division III, and they have some great wrestlers, especially back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Martucci. Remember Tom Martucci?
Yeah. Well, he end up at Bloomsburg. Yeah.
Oh, he did, right?
Yeah.
And who else was there? I can't think of the names. Some great. Eisenhower had some good students, good wrestlers.
Plenty. They were one of the best Division III schools in the country for sure.
Yeah,
Even
amazing.
still, they still turn out a bunch.
Yeah. Well, it's Jersey.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Jersey kills it with the wrestling.
Yeah, that's where I used to go to wrestling camp with Eisenhower.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
fun. That was the only wrestling camp. Like we didn't have what you guys had. Well, you didn't have it either.
Yeah, no, not as much. Not
But
what they
like
have
not
today.
like Steve
Right.
Rivera school and
Yeah.
like I used
Steve
to
went to TCNJ.
That's right. He
He's
did.
a national champ for them.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Goodale. Me and Goodale grew up together.
Yeah.
Like, we wrestled. I wrestled John Stout.
Yeah.
Brian was a good
Oh,
wrestler.
Brian was. We went to the same college. Brian went to Clarion. He was
Yeah.
a 4-time All-American.
Man.
His sons actually just this past year wrestled each other at nationals. The two brothers.
Wow.
Really?
Yep.
That's amazing.
Got to be a rough dinner for one and a great dinner for the other
Yeah,
one.
and the
Wyatt
younger one,
won, right? Wyatt.
The younger one beat the older one.
No way.
Yeah.
You think that would happen with your sons?
It could.
I mean, I'm not gonna.
You're not going to say, I don't blame it.
Wow. It could be like who are the guys that the Kelsey brothers in the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's gonna be awesome for the dad. Your kids are wrestling in nationals together. I mean, hey, you've got to lose to someone.
Yeah, might as well
know?
lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty amazing. That's an amazing story. Of course, Seabass. That was an
Yeah.
amazing
Oh,
story
man.
too. What a great wrestler he is.
Yeah,
Such a
he's
good
stud.
kid too.
Oh,
Like,
awesome kid. Awesome
really good kid.
He's at Columbia University right now.
They had a good wrestling program because they all train with Jimmy
coaching,
Gorman
right?
over at New York Athletic Club too.
Yeah, no. Well, now it's different. It's different now with these RTCs, the regional training centers. Now it's like New York has their own regional training center. Jersey has two. They have the Scarlet Knight and they have the NJRTC. Then UPenn has a regional training center. It's like all these teams now. Like they build like these killer like. I don't know. I guess they're not part of the school because like high school kids can go to it. It's honestly it's changed wrestling in the United States. Well, like in Russia, like they have the little guys are on the mats with older guys. And now they're doing it here, and you're seeing it. You're seeing high school kids beat national champs now.
Yeah,
beating world champs.
Didn't it
It's
just
fucking
happen?
crazy.
Yeah.
The guy PJ Duke.
Yeah.
Who is he's a phenomenal. He's in high school. He just graduated high school, and he just pinned. I mean, he in the best 2 out of 3 match. He beat Yanni.
Yeah.
Yanni, who was a 4-time national champ.
Wow.
And he just fucking beat him, a high school kid, which is crazy.
Wow.
You know.
But those opportunities would never present themselves before they had these training centers?
Not really. Yeah, not as much. Like Kerry Colott, remember him? Kerry Colott was like the Jordan Burroughs of like my time, and he was like a high school kid that went to the Midlands and did really well. So like he was like one of the first guys to do that.
I don't know shit about wrestling.
I had to wrestle
obviously.
Pete Yazoo.
Yeah.
You know who Pete Yazoo is? He
No.
went to Lehigh. This guy, he tech fought me in like 2 minutes.
I don't know shit about wrestling, but wouldn't one of the first schools be that crazy dude from DuPont? Didn't he open up like his own
Foxcatcher.
Foxcatcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DuPont,
It was right. Actually, it was in.
Craig Schultz, right? Greg Schultz? Dave Schultz.
Dave Schultz and Mark Schultz. Mark's still alive. Dave was the one shot and killed by DuPont. But yeah, it was called Foxcatcher. It was right. A lot of Jersey guys used to go out there because it was right in Pennsylvania.
My college roommate went there, Freddie Goldbach.
Yeah.
He was a wrestler. I forgot where he went to high school. Somewhere up north.
But yeah, that was a crazy story. Right. You ever got to watch? Well, they had what's called Foxcatchers, the movie with Steve Carell.
Yeah,
he plays him, which is cool. It's good, but you got to watch The Prince of Pennsylvania. That's a documentary about it. It's definitely
he was a
more
creepy dude.
Oh, bro,
creepy.
Yeah.
But he aspired to be a wrestler, and they would like throw.
He was paying people.
He would throw matches thrown so he would win.
Yeah, he was strange.
Bro, honestly, I mean, I don't know. I've heard stories through other people. And they knew that dude was crazy.
Yeah.
They would show up and he'd be like naked in the fountain. Like, bro, I'm getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't care how much money you got.
No way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I've been around some weird rich people, man.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have too. Like there's some I had a very famous actor when I was 22 years old ask me if I wanted to have sex with his wife.
What? Well,
and this is 1992, Frankie.
Let me get
a look at her. Yeah. Now, if it happened today, I'd be like, well, let me see your wife. Yeah. But like, I was 22 years old. Yeah. I was a kid. And this guy was a famous. Like, he was a guy I worshipped.
Really?
He was a very famous martial arts actor. That's all I'm going to say.
Steven Seagal.
And it wasn't Steven Seagal. And I was like, and then he said to me, "Don't worry, I won't touch you. I just want to watch." And I'm just like, whoa. I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's creepy.
So I'm like, oh, I left something downstairs, and I ran and I went home. I called my parents. I'm like, you're not gonna believe what just happened. I was shaking. Like, it traumatized me. Like, again, now if it happened now, I'm like, well, let me see your wife.
Frankie, tell him about the P. Diddy parties. That's nothing.
I know, right?
Tell him. Let him know.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
That is crazy.
And then all these stories coming out, like you don't even know what to believe anymore.
Frankie and I are kind of, I don't want to speak for you, but we don't believe anything. We're cynics of everything. You don't know what is real. Nuts. Like, what is real? We have no fucking idea what real is anymore.
I don't want to know. Like, the stuff that I'm hearing about Diddy and Bieber, like, I don't want to hear that stuff, man. That's just...
Bro, I heard something like Usher. Didn't Usher disappear for a while? They say disappear because he was getting his asshole sewn out because Diddy was...
That's what they said, man.
Who's the other one? Meek Mill? Was it?
Meek Mill.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Well, dude, they're saying every rapper, like all these rappers are gay. I'm like, what? That's just killed my whole fucking youth.
Your hero, yeah.
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 But then you listen to some lyrics.
Yep.
With Biggie.
No,
he's
Tupac.
Like, she looks so good. No, Biggie, Tupac. I don't like Biggie's lyrics.
The video of him when he was like 17.
Yeah, well, that was like, well, he looked real feminine.
Oh, bro.
But Biggie's lyrics, he's like, fuck him in the ass and throw him over the bridge. Like, what? She looks so good. I suck on the daddy's dick. What? You know?
Yeah, there's actually one rapper that is gay, but every one of his videos is all these girls twerking everywhere on yachts and everything. I'm just like, people don't even know, man. They have no idea. I'm not going to say who it is. I'll tell you off camera.
Oh, jeez.
Do you think when you have
people in the closet,
when you have, fame, money, and you can just have anything, your pick of whatever you want for women,
you get bored? Yeah,
you get bored of it at
some
point, and you're like, well, let me watch this dude bang her, and then you're like, oh, I think
it just happens. Yeah,
excess of anything is too much. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. It's 100%. Not a good thing. And I've heard people say that, people around, because like I said, I was around a lot of Hollywood guys, and I had another actor kiss me on the lips once, just like out of the blue. I was standing at a bar with him after a Golden Globes party, and he just leaned over and kissed me on the lips, and I was like, what? And I looked over, and there was a Hayden Panettiere, and I looked at her. I go, did that just happen?
I know her.
And she goes, yeah, that just happened. Because that's just him, though. That just means he likes you. I'm like, clearly, but he walked away, and she's like, no, he's just quirky like that.
No, he's not.
I was like, whoa, dude.
Yeah,
that was really, really weird. Another dude did that to me too, and he goes, that wasn't cool. I go, what the fuck? Because the second time, I was like, what the fuck, dude? He goes, that wasn't cool, huh? I'm like, no, that wasn't cool, bro. And then I felt bad.
Vibes you giving off, Mike?
And then I felt bad for the guy Because then I was like, listen, man, I'm flattered. I just don't. I'm straight. I'm flattered because I made him feel bad.
I hope so.
But it's when you're in that, you gotta be politically correct. You have to be. Not that I'm a blower, dude.
All of Hollywood is strange, and I would not want to be any part of it.
It is strange, man. But can you imagine being a woman? Like, honestly, could you imagine having to fucking suck Harvey Weinstein's dick to get a part?
Did you hear about this though?
You
know what I heard about
this?
You
say have to.
Listen, did you hear about this? Candace Owens was talking about this.
Yeah, that she's actually thinks Weinstein is framed.
Weinstein might have been framed because supposedly this is someone said she had to put his balls in his mouth.
He has no balls.
He has no balls. His balls are
gangrene, bro.
His balls are on the inside of his leg.
How do you get gangrene in your nuts?
And he has gangrene to the dick.
No, they removed his nuts. I thought because gangrene.
Well, I know, but it's on his dick too. It says dick's all deformed looking, but his balls are like inside his leg. Like he still has balls, but they're not exterior balls. They're inside his leg. So like someone's making up something.
Well, but like after 33 women came out, maybe one of them made it up.
Yeah, true. But I think it's not like they knew what they were doing now. It's not like he said, listen, suck my dick and you'll get this part. They said, okay. Because there's a lot of women that probably didn't get the part.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You think of all of Hollywood, though, is dark and evil.
Yes.
And they're all doing...
All of it? I mean,
not all of it, but
a
lot of it.
My question is, hypothetically, if you think, or most of it, or, the greater percentile of it is evil and doing horrible, heinous things, do you think occasionally they offer up a sacrificial lamb and say... Okay, here's a Diddy, and he's going to go to trial for all. Do you think occasionally they have to do that just to
probably.
Like,
I mean,
there's always a fall guy.
Are you telling me that Michael Jackson shouldn't have been prosecuted?
Bro, I'm learning that Michael Jackson might not have been.
That's another one
as bad as everyone these other.
That's another one that a lot of people are
saying.
Yeah,
they're saying that they don't think he was. And he talked about liking girls. He was always trying to hang out with girls and stuff.
Something was clearly wrong with him, for sure. But is he a pedo? I don't know.
Well, what's that? Corey Haim, he said he was passed around like a freaking piece of candy when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Well, something's wrong with him, too. But I guess...
Well, something would be wrong with me if I was passed around.
Yeah, for sure.
Corey Feldman. Haim is the one that died. He died.
Yep.
Same thing,
Yeah.
Oh, I meant Feldman.
Crazy, man.
The singer guy now? Yeah. Something's off with him.
But both of them.
Yeah, Bryan Singer.
Britney Spears. What's the Amanda Bynes?
Listen, I was an actor when I was younger, right? And I had this manager in New York, and she was a big manager. And I went to LA. Back then, we had pilot season. So we'd go out to LA and audition for pilots. I auditioned for Chuck Norris, and it was called Sons of Thunder. Oh. And I got the part, and then Les Moonves said, no, we're not doing it. Les Moonves was the head of CBS. Anyway, this woman calls me up, and she goes, you're going to meet with this producer. He's got a lot of series going on. He's very powerful. He's very important. I said, that's great. I was so excited. And she goes, you're going to have to meet him, but I have to warn you, he's going to hit on you. So I go, okay, where do I meet him? She goes, at his apartment. I go, no, there's no way. And she got mad. She dropped me as a client. She's like, Michael, you can't be afraid of gay people. I go, I'm not afraid of gay people, but if you're telling me he's going to hit on me and is at his apartment, and if I show up, that means I'm okay with it. Yeah. Like it's going to send the wrong message to him. Yeah. Well, I told you to tell him I'm going to hit on him, and he still showed up at my apartment for that audition.
Right.
Fuck that. Yeah. And then she dropped me. I'm like, and then she's like, I can't represent you. I'm like, good, because I don't want you to represent me. Yeah. And think about it. I was working at CBS at the time. I was on the overnight shift at CBS Radio. If I didn't have that job and I was just like this starstruck, I want to be an actor so bad, who knows what I would have done?
Yeah. Who was the guy Tucker had on? And we were both like, Kevin Spacey. Remember? And they're saying some of the stuff with Kevin Spacey may not be true.
Yeah,
I mean, you just don't know what.
Well, it was weird. He was on that show as Frank Underwood, though.
Yeah, I know he was. He definitely was. But it goes back to the question: what is real? We'll never fucking know what is real and what isn't. We'll never know.
If you think about it, with Kevin Spacey, there was only one kid who accused him. His mother was the waitress at that bar, at that restaurant in Connecticut. And then when he got caught doing it, it wasn't like, I'm sorry that I hit on an underage boy. What really screwed Kevin Spacey was he came out as gay. And he said, I've chosen to live my life in a closet, but I'm going to let everybody know I'm gay. And the gay people were pissed at him because they're like, no. that kid's underage. Like, don't be saying, don't be like a priest and say, no, you're a pedophile.
Yeah, right.
So that's what really that's what screwed Kevin Spacey.
I just would never want to have any part of Hollywood or
music.
My kids to have any part of that, or
it's horrible. I mean, you can't even be an Olympic gymnast without getting molested.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you freaking kidding me? I would have killed that guy.
Nasser, right? Nasser.
I would have killed that guy. Yeah. That little fucking twerp.
Bro, how about though?
I would have.
So there's a documentary. There's a documentary about like,
one of the dads.
Ohio State wrestling team.
Oh yeah,
like they're all got it. I'm like, bro, what?
Yep.
How does that? I'm like, that doesn't seem like
it doesn't.
No,
track.
because no one could have fucking done that to me when I was in college.
Right. No one could have. There's no way.
If someone touched me and I didn't like it, I would have smacked them and I would have told everybody that guy touched me. There's no way it would have happened.
And
so
same
I don't
thing
get
with
that.
There's another story. A college baseball team. Something's going on with. I forgot which one. But I'm like, who would put up with this shit?
Yeah, that's almost like I think they want it to be.
They were like they made the guy wrestle naked or something. Did you hear that story?
No.
Like they would just attack this guy in the locker room, and everybody was naked, beating him up. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's so weird.
Like that is so weird. Like I was a wrestler. Like I've never seen guy. The worst thing we did was we taped the kid up once.
Yeah. We put kids in garbage cans and threw them down the hallway.
Yeah, we taped the kid to a chair with matte tape, and he was naked. He was a really hairy guy. I'm laughing, but it wasn't funny at the time.
A little funny.
It was. I was a little guy. I wrestled 101 in high school, so I couldn't do anything. I couldn't protect the guy. I was the guy they were putting in trash cans all the time.
Yeah.
My older brother was a senior in high school when I was a freshman, so I was like, I weighed 88 pounds my freshman year in high school.
Wow.
I wrestled 101.
Wow.
80. I used to put quarters in my socks because you could only be 10 pounds under.
Yeah.
So I had to put quarters in my socks, and I'd get it. Everybody's like in their underwear, and I'm like got sweatpants on. I got quarters in my socks. I'm like 93. I'm like, yes.
That's funny.
Who is in your guys' opinion, obviously you follow the fight game, you are a fighter, the baddest man on the planet in a real world scenario? John Jones? Like you lock him in a room with another guy and comes out every time. Is it John Jones?
The best. Who's the best pound for pound best guy?
I think it's got to be one of the Dagestan guys.
But you think they would get in the room with John Jones and not win?
I don't know.
Are you talking weight
John
classes?
Jones because he's bigger than most of the...
Are you talking weight classes? Like, you know who's a bad dude?
I guess you would have to.
You know who's a bad dude because he's got a mean streak in it. George Masvidal.
Oh yeah. He'll fight anybody anywhere.
He'll fight anybody anywhere, man. Remember when he clocked that kid at they were just
Leon Edwards.
Yeah. Dude, he did 2 punches. The kid's face was messed up.
He got Colby at the steakhouse, coming out of the steakhouse.
Yeah, I think Masvidal. I would take Masvidal.
Masvidal's not a bad pick. And he did the backyard fighting with Kimbo before.
First.
Yep.
I mean, the Diaz brothers, obviously. I mean, Frankie, we see people up at Seaside.
He's still. I ask him, I've interviewed him, like, what's your favorite fight? He's like, Seaside.
Yeah.
Still, but.
The most fun.
But, it's so, like, now you can't fight. Look what happened at Memorial Day in Seaside. People getting stabbed.
But people are pussies nowadays.
Yeah, everybody, they really are.
Kids are fucking pussies nowadays.
Tell me about it.
I asked Frankie about it because he's in the industry and he trains a lot and he says, in the wrestling world, not really. Kids are still tough. I guess, I don't know in your MMA school if kids are still tough. But as a whole, societally, kids are fucking pussies nowadays.
Yep.
Absolute pussies.
Dude, I was a bouncer.
Excuses for kids, that's all.
I was a bouncer in Ybor City, Tampa.
Yeah, I've been there.
Just last year.
Yep.
And, like, I had to quit. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to get stabbed or shot because I'm checking an ID.
Well, look at that kid. I forget the name. Andrew probably remembers it. But, they're trying to turn it into a racial thing. I don't think it had anything to do with race. They were at some track meet or some sporting event, and the kid asked the other kid to get up and move, and he fucking straight up just stabbed him on the spot.
Yeah, Austin something. Yeah. Metcalf, yeah.
I mean, what a pussy move. Fight the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's bad, dude. Everybody's got guns. In Florida, you don't have to have a license to conceal carry anymore.
Yeah, which is the way it should be, in my opinion. And crime is not rampant.
It's pretty rampant in Tampa, dude.
In Tampa, but Florida as a whole?
No, Florida as a whole, no.
Yeah.
But there are some messed up. Every screwed up story.
Texas as a whole was a much safer state
Florida
than
man. They say if you just put Florida man in your birthday, they said they saw a crazy story will pop up.
Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's crazy down there, man. crazy. I mean, that's where Diane Warnos did all her killing. Remember the?
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
Monster.
That's true.
Yeah, Monster. Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
How could they make Charlize Theron that ugly is beyond me.
Yeah.
Like that
did a
that
good
makeup
job.
artist, I think she won an Oscar for that.
Yeah.
Like you had to win an Oscar. How do you make Charlize Theron ugly?
Yeah.
She's got to be one of the hottest actresses out there, man. There's so many hot actresses now. It's ridiculous.
They all look the same though.
They
No
all
one
do.
stands out. No
You're
one
right.
stands out really.
You're right, but it goes that way.
They don't do it for me. None of them.
No.
They're all fucking weird. What was the one I used to think she was hot? Megan Fox. I used to think she was hot. She's weird
she's
a
now.
fucking weird. They're all fucking weirdos.
Yeah.
They're all weirdos.
Drinks of blood and stuff.
They're all weirdos.
I like the British. I like Emily Blunt. Like she's classy and pretty, and there's a couple other ones.
You can have them all. Not that they want me, but you can have them.
I'm getting old now, man. I can't even tell anymore how old people are. I stopped looking at girls because it's like, is she 23? Is she 33? Is she 18? Like I don't even know anymore. Everybody dresses like they're older than they are.
Don't go to the boardwalk. I don't like bringing my daughter to the boardwalk because I don't know how old those girls are, but they're definitely young teenagers and they run around with nothing on.
I know.
And it's creepy.
It's crazy.
Even
It
on
is.
the beach, bro. Like these like young girls. Like we usually go to one spot where like we just with our family, but then the kids want to go to where their kids are, and we'll go with them. And I always feel so uncomfortable going over there. There's these high school girls that have their fucking bathing suits up their ass.
Butts
Like,
hanging out,
you're not even of age. Like what are you doing?
You're 15.
Yeah.
Like I'll never. I won't even. I was like, my sister. She had these my niece and her friends were on the beach, and I looked at my sister and she goes, "Shut up, Michael. I know what you're gonna say." I'm like, she goes, "That's what the kids wear now," and I'm like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
I mean, I would never let my daughters go out like that ever.
Yeah.
That's what the kids wear now.
Sometimes you just got to be the bad guy.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You know.
I'll be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Say hello to the bad guy.
Yeah, it's bad. But yeah, going back to the Hollywood thing, it's just crazy. I'll tell you who that actor was.
Yeah.
I won't say it on camera.
Do you have any aspirations to get back into TV?
Any aspirations? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've got this opportunity, and I saw you did a movie.
I did, yeah. It was fun. It was real fun.
You guys, what's it called?
Bastard Sons.
Bastard Sons, yeah.
Frankie had a significant role in it. I had a little cameo type thing in it, but it was cool. Got my acting chops.
Do you remember when I said to you, "Are you going to do movies after you're done fighting?" You're like, and I remember your exact quote was like, "Hey, everything's on the table."
Yeah.
Remember that?
More impressive than that to me. I brought this up a million times. More impressive than that to me because, we had the guidance of Kevin Interdonato, a friend of ours, and he was the producer and he wrote the script and. So we had that as an advantage. He was easy to work with. He made it easy. This fucking guy did stand-up comedy. That fucking impresses the shit out of me.
5 minutes set.
That impresses the
With
shit
who?
out of me.
Oh, in the movie?
No.
At the Stratosphere Comedy Club.
Wow.
Yeah. It was an MMA show. Adam Hunter did it.
Oh, Adam Hunter's great. I love him.
He helped me. I mean, I wrote it. I wrote my material. I had, I talked to like my buddies and stuff, and he helped me a little bit. But it was a legit original material, my stuff. I had to memorize it and everything.
You're standing in front of a crowd.
Well, he is.
There's 250 people.
You can't read.
He is Raging
You can't
Bull.
read a piece of paper.
Yeah.
You got. Yeah, true.
He is Raging Bull.
But there was 250 people there, and it was an MMA crowd, so they were gracious and everything. And like obviously, my jokes are all MMA, topics. So it did all right. It did all right. But
do you remember the first time I met you? It was at a picnic at Jerry's house, and he had curly hair, and he looked like De Niro in Raging Bull. Remember I said that to you? I'm like, you look like Robert De Niro in Raging Bull.
I love that for one fight, I think, in the UFC, he had literally like the Italian fro.
Yep.
And they used it for years after that. They used it for all the promo shit.
It's on this card.
Yeah. There it is.
Actually, when I had that haircut, that's what Dana said. Bro, fucking Raging Bull.
Yep. It's so true. It's like, Renee, don't burn the steak.
Don't overcook the meat. Defeats
the purpose. Just bring me the meat. Bring it over here.
Bro, I just read, Burt Young, Paulie.
Yeah.
He was like 17-0. He won 17 fights, 17 knockouts as a boxer.
Yep.
No shit.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Uncle Paulie.
Uncle Paul. Hey, Rock, so it's okay I talk to you? You sure? Absolutely. My friend was, not my friend. This girl I knew was Stallone's assistant for a while.
Oh.
And that's an interesting job. That guy, man. I just watched a movie
great,
called
man.
Avenging Angelo.
Oh, is he in it?
It's on Prime. Yeah, he's in it, and he looks like he's 40 years old.
I know, bro. He looks jacked still.
He looks great.
He
He's
might look
got to
the
be
best
close
out
to
of,
80.
out of all of them.
Stallone?
He might look the best out of all of them.
Little overdone. What was the movie? The TV show he had, Tulsa King.
Yeah,
little overdone in that. I think a little.
What do you mean?
He still was the plastic surgery's a little much.
I'm
Little much.
saying, though,
Little
his
much.
body though.
Yeah,
body wise,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
fucking pretty jacked.
I just saw.
He's a great actor. I'm not knocking him in any way. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Been in so many great fucking movies. You know what I mean?
Rocky
so many
was great.
Oh,
the best movie.
Best
Rambo.
movie, man.
Rambo was as good as Rocky, but
No way.
you don't think so?
Not even close.
Not even close. I can't even watch Rambos anymore, but I'll watch Rocky. I've watched Rocky,
Well, Rocky
30
1
times.
is one of the best
Timeless.
movies
Well,
ever.
where's the one they say started falling off? Tommy, right? When
That's Rocky 5.
yeah,
I
they
watch
say
all.
started falling
I watch all.
off,
But
right?
Rocky 1, if like you're just looking at a movie, like not a sports
All right,
movie,
I do agree with
just
you.
a period, a
I agree
movie
with
piece.
you. I agree with
Rocky
you. All right,
1
fair.
is the best movie.
I agree.
Yeah.
I would agree.
It was. Oh, you know what? I always go back to this, and I know you're gonna roll your eyes because you ever see that movie Warrior, the MMA film?
I thought it was good.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was
man.
very good, actually. Yeah.
And that Tom Hardy,
yeah,
Joel Edgerton,
yeah.
and Nick Nolte.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So great. Nick Nolte was nominated for an Oscar for that role.
Get outta
Best
here.
supporting actor. Yeah.
As the dad, no
Yeah.
way. Wow.
Yeah, and what a great movie that was. And it was small budget. I mean, Mask was one of the producers on that movie.
Really?
He died during the filming of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Terrible, man.
It's funny because I don't think Tom Hardy was even obviously for the role he probably was, but now he loves BJJ now. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Not that they did much BJJ and then it was all stand up, but still he loves the art of fighting.
I wonder
now,
if
you know
that's what kind of got him.
It is.
maybe.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I know I'm getting old. All right, Kevin Iole wrote this column the other day. I was reading, Kevin Iole.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how my mind works now. This is how I know I'm getting old. So he wrote something about John Jones, and he said when John Jones fought guys, they looked like they just got into a 100-mile-an-hour crash with a Ferrari. And the first thing I thought of was Mask.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to him.
And I'm like, Kevin, of all
Wasn't
the
there-
like
wasn't there-
analogies you can make,
Right.
but here I am thinking, like Kevin probably wasn't even thinking that. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
no, yeah.
But the first thing that popped in my head, and I got mad at Kevin.
Right. Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, get off my lawn! Like, who am I?
yeah, right.
What the hell? But I really did. I was like, that's insensitive.
Wasn't there a girl in the car with him?
Yeah, his girlfriend was. in there. She broke every bone in her body.
Oh,
was
she
in a,
lived.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
She was in a
wow.
full body cast for a full year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Crazy story, man. Yeah. And then Bobby Razek did a documentary about him.
The car was literally in pieces.
Yeah. It was awful.
Jesus.
Awful. Wow. What a great guy he was.
Yeah. I mean, I met him a couple times. But I know Punk Ass and Scrape. I seen them always.
I had them on Fox and Friends too.
Yeah.
And that was so funny, man. Steve Ducey was like, punk ass. He's like, because I even said at the end, excuse me, at the end of the piece, I'm like, these guys are great guys. I mean, can you imagine your daughter bringing home a guy named Punk Ass? But he's a nice guy. And then Ducey cuts back to Ducey. He's like, if my daughter brought home a guy named Punk Ass, that'd be the last time she ever got out.
I met them in Ireland. I was fucking hanging out with Bieber, Selena Gomez, and they were performing. What was that hit song they had?
Yeah, no, not those guys.
I don't know.
I'm fucking with you, bro.
Oh.
Obviously, it was LMFAO.
yeah.
But yeah, we were at some fucking
Bye,
some pub,
right?
and they just did this impromptu thing. Yeah.
Party.
Let's get party. Fucking what was
USA,
it?
Party
Yeah.
USA.
Oh, that's Miley
No,
Cyrus.
it wasn't Party USA.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Who cares?
But they were performing that. But
LMAFO.
They
right?
do look a lot
LMFAO.
like fucking.
Oh, they do.
The
Yeah.
tap out guys.
Yeah.
They do.
Oh, were you there that night at the? There was a fight in the Staples Center. It was the first Fox fight, and
Sexy and I know it.
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
What's the name of the song though? It's not
Sexy
sexy.
and
Is
I
that the
know
name
it.
of
Yeah.
it? Is it?
Party rocking in.
I thought it was called Party Rock. It's not called Party Rock.
No, it's called Sexy and I know
Oh, all right.
So it was me. I think it was Jim Miller, and Punk Ass and Scrape, and I think Donald Cerrone. I forgot who else was there. another fighter, tough guy. I forget who it is. Anyway, Chris Lytle. And
Lytle.
We were at the Hooters across from Staples Center. It was the only place open after the fight. So we go to Hooters, just like in Anaheim. The only place open is a Denny's after the fight. So we all went to Denny's after Arlovsky got knocked out by Fedor. We all went to, remember that affliction card?
Yeah.
We all went, me, Vitor Belfort, Sean Tompkins, we're all at Denny's at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, really? This is our after-fight party? Anyway, we're at Hooters, and we see this purple McLaren pull up. And this guy walks in. We know who this guy is. And he's like, excuse me, is there valet parking? And we all start laughing. And we're like, it's a Hooters, dude. There's no valet parking in downtown LA. It's a Hooters. And you clearly, the plot is empty. There's nobody here. So we start laughing, and this guy's like, he's getting all tough, and I start laughing. I'm like, this is a table full of UFC fighters. One guy's got stitches because he fought. I forgot who fought that night. Oh, it was Gil Melendez. Melendez had stitches in his face. And I'm like, this idiot. And then we turned out to be Justin Bieber's father.
Wow.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and I'm like, what a douchebag.
He's like an MMA fan too, supposedly. I think they used to train MMA. He did that.
Yeah, in Toronto.
Yeah.
Because I remember Jamie Salter was the guy who bought Tap Out, and he's from Toronto, so he was friends. Okay. He was friends with him, or he knew him. And he also had a piece of that company called Something Head.
Brazen? I mean, no.
It was a
The
T-shirt
liquor company?
No,
Oh, no.
T-shirt company.
Head Rush?
Head Rush, that's
Yeah,
it. Head
Head
Rush.
Rush,
He had a
yeah.
piece of that
Yeah.
company. Yeah.
That was an era. That was an era. Affliction shirts,
Oh.
Head Rush.
Didn't that affliction card that you were just talking about, didn't that pretty much bankrupt their whole...
They had two of them.
We had two of them.
That was it, yeah.
Yeah, but it pretty much did.
Yeah.
Well, and they had who opened? They had a band, like a heavy metal band, or I forgot which one. Megadeth opened the show. They had a concert before the fight.
Yeah.
It was Todd Beard. Todd Beard owned Affliction.
Oh, Todd Beard, yeah.
And
I remember him.
He owned Affliction, and he was like, dude, I remember I was in a casino with him on New Year's Eve, and George St. Pierre was there with Shari, Shari Spencer, and we were just hanging out, and Todd Beard comes up, and we were at Nobu. You know that Nobu place?
Yeah.
It's a Hard Rock, right? That Nobu was in?
Yes.
Or the Palm. Yeah, Hard Rock. Not Nobu. Yeah, Nobu.
Yeah, I think Hard Rock.
Yeah. So anyway, we're eating, and then Todd Beard comes over, and like he orders everything on the menu, and like the bill was like $10,000, and Todd's like, I got it. He paid cash. And I'm like, Jesus. And then he goes and he goes, come on with me, Mike. And I'm like, I don't even know this guy. He's a big guy. He's got this big beard. He's got this really raspy voice. He's like typical. If you could cast an actor to play the guy who owns Affliction, it would be Todd Beard. So he goes and he plays Pai Gow, and he's betting $20,000 a hand. So he runs out of money, and he goes to his host. He goes, and he signed like another $20,000, and he lost that. And he goes, I want more. Give me another marker. So his host comes over and he goes, hey, Todd, your credit card came back. Go to bed. And he goes, oh. He goes to his girlfriend. Give me your card. And she
racks that one out. Jesus.
I couldn't believe it.
I do that to Frankie sometimes. Give me your card.
Man, those were crazy days, man. George was a wild one. When he partied, you'd be surprised.
Oh, I know.
Well,
I was shocked.
Partied at all, really?
I was shocked.
George, yeah, but I mean, he'd always within reason.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He liked to have fun.
But he was alone. He was by himself. It was just George and us, and he went out and danced.
Doesn't he like the bigger girls?
Yes.
Likes the bigger girls,
Yes.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he was dancing. He had this girl by the back, and I'm like just laughing, and Shari's laughing. Yeah. I'm like, it was fun. I go, good thing he's all by himself. She goes, I know. She goes, what do you think I'm doing here? I'm making sure nobody's got a camera right now.
Yeah, he was.
That was before everybody had a cell phone camera. That was like 06, maybe. No, it had to be 08.
The good old days.
No, it was before you met Shari. So
probably like
05?
09, 05.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But man, I love George, man. What a nice guy.
Great guy.
What a great guy. Great fighter. I remember when he fought in Newark, Dan Hardy.
Yeah.
So he's got Dan Hardy in an armbar, and Dan Hardy never tapped.
Kimura. It was Kimura.
Oh, was it a Kimura?
Yeah.
And he never tapped, and like this kid's arm was like gonna break, and the kid never tapped. And right after the fight, George goes up to John Danaher and he goes, "What did I do wrong?" And next thing you know, he's training him after the fight, like in the locker room. Like he's like, "What did I want to know what I did wrong."
Yeah.
Like that's a freaking. That's a guy who's dedicated.
Oh yeah.
Always learning, right?
Oh yeah. George, he's doing all right for himself now too. You know.
I don't even know. I haven't seen George in probably
he's just kind of
10 years.
like pushing this workout machine.
Fucking grew his hair out after fucking 30 years of shaving it.
Yeah.
He's got a full head of hair.
Comb over.
Yeah.
I thought he would be an actor. Like
He was. He did. He did Captain America.
Oh, that's right. But I mean, I thought he'd be like the next Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
You know, because he'd be perfect for like that.
He must not want to do it. You know.
Yeah. You know, he's very shy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to hate doing interviews. He once told me, he goes, "I see myself like Peter Parker. I've got to be humble outside the cage, but inside I'm Spider-Man." Swear to God, that's a quote.
You have to read him.
I was not impressed with your performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't his fault. They just threw him in there.
Yeah. They said, "So go ahead, say something."
Yeah, say something.
But then after that, didn't, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Hughes beat him and then he came back and beat Hughes?
Yeah. That was way before.
No, so
Wasn't he challenging Hughes?
No, it wasn't Matt Hughes.
he lost to Hughes.
Who was he saying that to? Not impressed with your
To
performance.
Matt Hughes.
To you?
Yeah, he was saying that to Matt Hughes. Yeah. Yeah, it was when he fought.
So you're saying when
Frank Trigg? No.
I don't remember.
Wait, Hughes fought Trigg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know that, but I'm saying, who was
The Hughes
he
fight?
trying to get the fight against when he went in the ring and said that?
Trying to get it against Matt Hughes.
Matt Hughes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So he's telling him.
when he fought Matt Hughes, when he got given the
He
fight,
did win, yeah.
he won that
second
fight.
Well, lost the first one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes,
Lost the
what do you
first-
mean? What are you saying? What
thought-
No, I
I thought
was.
you said-
I
I thought you
cut
said
him off.
no. You said
I
no.
did say no.
Somebody said
I
no.
said no. It was
Okay.
my fault.
Okay.
You were right. I was wrong.
Yeah.
I thought that was so far after the whole Matt Hughes thing. Wow.
Yeah, I have a hard time.
It is.
When
Dude,
stuff happens.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I've said this a million times. I'm sure you heard me say it when you were on my podcast. I just can't keep up with the fights anymore.
No, I'm the same way. I'm
There's
the
too
same
many.
way.
Yeah.
He watches pretty much every
And
weekend.
I can't.
Try to.
I'm fucking sleeping by 10 o'clock.
Dude,
Unless
I was
it's a
at
fight I really wanna
when
watch.
I met Molly McCann the other night. Somebody was asking me, I forgot what it was. It doesn't even matter. And he's like, "Oh no, that guy never fought that guy." I'm like, "That guy just lost." Chandler fought. Who did Chandler just lose to?
Patty.
Yeah. So we're talking about Pimlet, and the guy goes, "Oh, I can't wait for him to fight Michael Chandler." I go, "He already fought Michael Chandler." He goes, "No, he didn't. That fight's coming up." I'm like, "Dude, he lost to Michael. Michael Chandler got lost to Patty." He's like, "No, he didn't." I'm like, "Yeah, he did." So the guy looks it up and goes, "Oh, you're right." He goes, "That was like 2 weeks ago." I'm like, "Yeah."
Patty looked good in that fight too. Really.
But I mean,
good.
even like the regular, like the fans can't keep up.
It's tough.
Like
It's tough.
It's too many. You know, it happened when they signed the ESPN deal. They had so much inventory that they promised ESPN. That's why they paid billions of dollars for it. And now,
Well, now they're saying even in this new deal, they're going to do more seasons of contenders. So they're going to add even more.
I was good. It used to be like early on. It would be like one fight every
3 months.
3 months.
Every quarter.
I was good when it went to one fight every month. Now
Yeah.
it's a fucking pretty
Every
much
weekend.
Every weekend, pretty much. I can't keep up.
I mean,
I
it's
think there's like 45 cards a year or something.
yeah.
Like that.
You know, it's a lot. When Dana used to be to every single fight. Now you don't even see him anymore.
Well, Rogan,
all the big
Rogan
ones. He's
doesn't
always
do
been
right.
international shit anymore. Only stateside
Well, he only
stuff.
does pay-per-views and stuff. He only does, I think, 10, because 10 or maybe less than 10. Probably does like 8.
Yep.
Right? 'Cause 4 of overseas.
He's making Conor McGregor money just on his podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just his podcast.
Yeah.
He's funny. His stand-ups are good. He's gotten
great.
so good, right, over the years.
Yeah. He's great.
Yeah. I remember I brought your dad to one of his shows, and your dad was not happy.
Yeah. Well, Jerry, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your dad's like, "Mikey, why'd you bring... That's not funny. It's not funny.
Well, he's old. He's old.
Stapling a baby to a tree." Because Joe goes, "Yeah, I got a baby. I got 2 now. And one of them stapled in the backyard." And his dad was like, "That ain't funny." I'm like...
He's too old to understand what funny is.
Yeah, I think you can't be sensitive at all if you go to stand-up comedy because there's no.
I
limits.
can't wait to see. I'm going to see Sebastian Maniscalco in AC. I can't wait. I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's great. He's
just
funny,
his
so.
body language, the way he does.
He's
This-
definitely very physical.
I love when he's like, you ever see people that start and he's like, and when do I want to order? It's coffee. Just order a coffee.
Yeah.
It's so funny. That guy is great.
He is great.
And it's true. I mean, I'm sure your mom and dad can remember when he says, "Oh, remember back in the day when your doorbell rang and like, we have company." Now it's like doorbell rings, everybody hits the deck. Shut the light off. Shut the light off. My mother used to have the Entenmann's cakes. Like, don't touch it, and it would sit on the counter, and we'd all look at it. All the kids would just, me and my brother would just stare at the Entenmann's cake, and God forbid you touched it.
I got this kid that lives down the street, and maybe 6 months ago, Grayson went down there. My son went down there, asked him, and I sat on the porch because I don't want my son just going into a random house unless I know the parents. But I was like, you can go down, knock on the door, you can play with the kid outside or whatever. And he did that. Now that kid comes to my house literally every day, and he's a nice kid, but he does not remember. I tell him every fucking week, Wednesdays, Fridays, bud, come every Wednesday, every Friday. Grayson will be here. You know what I mean? Bro, it'll be a fucking Tuesday. I'll come home from work. I'll be just chilling on the couch, and this kid is bam, 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 like it's a fucking, like I'm getting raided. I'll answer the door. I'll be like, "What's up, bud?" He's like, "Is Grayson here?" I'm like, "Nope, it's not Wednesday. It's not Friday. He's still not here, bro." You know what I mean? But every
kid's lonely, man.
Day, bro. And then he'll be like this, like looking in my window.
Oh my God, I mean? Poor kid.
Yeah,
that was me, bro.
That was you back in the day.
I would go around my neighborhood. I'd knock on everybody's door. And if no one picked up, I'd walk around and I'd start knocking on doors again.
This kid knocks like he's doing a drug raid.
When I was a kid, I used to shovel snow because I grew up in Barnegat. So I had this 7-day guarantee. I was like 11 years old. I'd knock on a door. I'm like, "You guys want your driveway shoveled?" They're like, "How much?" I'm like, "Well, it's $10 if I do it." No, yeah. I said, "But I'll do it for..." No, I said it's $5 if I do it once, but for $10, I'll give you a 7-day guarantee. That means I'll come back. If it snows in the next 7 days, I'll come back and do it for free.
That's a pretty good deal.
And I got it every time. They're like, "All right, kid, give me $10." I come home with $120 for shoveling snow. My dad's like, "Well, how did you get $120?" I'm like, "Yeah, I would do that. It was great."
Yeah. That's what these kids
and only once, out of all the times I did it, only once I had to go back and shovel everybody's driveway because only once it snowed again.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad guarantee there.
Yep. 11-year-old, I was hustling people. Crazy.
You gotta find a way.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, man, it was good to catch up, brother.
Yeah, it was great, man. You guys. Oh, I saw Dylan on the show the other day. I haven't seen Dylan since like 2008.
Tim Dillon?
Dylan,
no,
yeah, Winagle. Yeah,
I can't say his name either. I used to call him Winagayo. Winagayo.
I didn't say it right. Remember?
I never said it right either.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was around for all of those times too.
Yeah. He's a super nice guy, man.
Oh, he's a great guy.
He's doing really well.
I thought of every time when he was talking about going to the Prudential Center, Schaller. Because Schaller might be his boss.
Dave Schaller, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Because Schaller's involved in all of that.
He's in
Sixers, but now he's in charge of everything.
Yeah, right.
He's another guy. Remember Lauren Mack? He was the WEC publicist. This kid had me he was so good at his job that he had me believe that Miguel Torres was the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. That's how good.
Miguel Torres. He got
wasn't
caught.
bad at one time.
He wasn't bad.
He got caught by the UFC because he made a comment on Instagram or something, right? That tall, lanky Mexican kid?
Yeah.
He made a comment something about a black van
That's
and
right.
raping kids
Rape
or
van.
something.
Yeah.
And fucking...
Yeah.
He got fired on the spot.
That's right.
He was on like a pretty bad skid, too.
That's another, like you just said, name another one who got fired from the UFC. That's Miguel Torres.
For a comment he made on Instagram
So Paul
or
Daly,
Twitter.
Miguel Torres, and there's got to be somebody else.
Well, no, when you said Daly, I'm talking about guys that did things in the ring.
In the octagon, okay.
Like that they got fired on the spot.
Yeah,
I can
Paul
only
Harris.
think of two, but there's been guys that made comments on the internet where Dana's been like, that shit don't fly here.
I don't know.
He was
I
one
don't
of them.
think so.
All right, let me look it up.
Miguel definitely. He got.
I can see that,
Yeah.
but I mean, but what else, though?
I don't know. Let me look this up.
You know,
first.
I
The
interviewed.
Miguel one?
Yeah.
I interviewed an athletic commissioner once, and it was a phone interview because I was writing a column, I think, for Fight Magazine, and the guy said something about
Hang on one sec.
steroids.
On December 8th, 2011, it was announced by UFC President Dana White in an interview that Torres had been cut from the UFC due to the following quote on a TV show, Workaholics, made for Torres' Twitter page. Anyway, if a rape van was called a surprise van, more women If a rape van was called a surprise van, more women wouldn't mind going on rides in them. He got fired for saying that.
That's a little.
Yeah,
That's a little much. Obviously, it was a bad joke.
Yeah, bad joke, but I didn't think Dana was like that. I thought
think
Dana.
this dude was on a skid, and they said,
Yeah,
we're good.
maybe.
We're good, buddy.
Maybe.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I got to use the head, man.
Yeah,
All
let's
wrap it up.
Let's wrap it. Mike,
awesome, dude.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for having me on. Roger, good to meet you.
Well.
Appreciate it.
Got to let us know when you got stuff coming on, all right?
Absolutely.
You got to sign the board. We got to grab a pic with you before you leave, brother.
All right.
What's up, guys? Make sure you follow us on your favorite podcast platforms. You can find the links in the description below. And if you've enjoyed this episode, hit that like button and share it with a friend. Your support keeps us growing.